Yep, so we're full speed ahead. The call to order, the approval of the agenda. I need a motion that the agenda for the council meeting of February 9th, 2026 be approved as presented. Councillor Kirkby and Councillor Burton, thank you. Are there any declarations of?
Question.
I called the question. All right. I have to call the question. All in favor? We're all in favor. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. We have no presentations, but we do have a couple of delegations. So the first one, Sean Nicholson, I'll bet you're the one with the Spencerville Bruins sweatshirt on.
Gotcha.
Yeah. First of all, I'll apologize for allowing that first meeting to go too long, so.
That's okay.
Okay.
Means I'll be a little bit late for my council meeting that starts in.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, it's just a committee meeting and they'll be fine. Thank you very much, Your Worship, for having me here and allowing me to talk about Hockeyville. So as we know, Craft Hockeyville is a national competition, celebrates the spirit of hockey in communities across Canada. Each year, communities nominate a local arena that plays a vital role in bringing people together, supporting our youth sports, and strengthening local identity. So 2026 marks 20 years of Craft Hockeyville. Over the past two decades, the program has helped improve arenas across the country, particularly in small towns and rural communities where rinks are central gathering places. So where we're at now in the 2026 competition is we're in the nomination and rally phase. So we submitted our video and got these set up and running on January 1st. And it goes until March 1st where people can put stories and send pictures and put notes on to help with the rally points to help us move to the next round. So the rally points make up about 20% of the total, then 80% is from the original video submission. Because it's the 20th year, they're doing extra prizes. So they're doing their regular $250,000 grand prize on upgrades at an NHL preseason game. And the runner-up will receive $100,000, and you used to be $50,000, and there were more than one runner-up prize. But now what they're doing is they're awarding $50,000 for the winner of each province or territory. So we're really focused on being number one in Ontario, and we were leading for quite a while in the rally points, but we've slipped behind a little bit. So we're in number 2 spot. So we're hoping to drum up some support to help us get back to number 1. And I know we're doing a day at the ACCC here with councils and also just to help promote the program. So about the Spencerville Arena, it's been in operation for more than 55 years, and it's a cornerstone of rural life in Edwardsburg Cardinal. Sorry, I forgot to totally introduce myself. I'm Sean Nicholson, the CAO for Edwardsburg Cardinal, so I probably should have mentioned that earlier. And I do have a cold, so I'm trying to get through this. So just some quick facts. In 1967 was when we opened the facility. It can seat about 500 spectators. And in season, we get about 500 people using it on weekends and up to 800 on Saturdays and Sundays. And we host about 40 to 50 teams in the community organization. So that ranges from youth hockey programs to men's and ladies recreational leagues. We do offer the free public skating. Local schools can use it free during the season, and we also do tournaments and events. But we use that facility for more than just hockey. We use it for the Spencerville Fair. We can use it for large-scale dog shows. We do indoor pickleball in the summer, and we run some summer camps out of there and community gatherings and special events. So I'm actually not originally from the area. I was born in Saskatoon. So I grew up on the prairies in Saskatchewan. And when I played hockey as a kid, we would always go to the small town community rinks. And they were always so awesome to go into and see the history. And while new facilities are beautiful, I love the ACCC that's here. Love the ingredient center that we have in Cardinal, but there's really something about preserving the history of those old school rinks with the freezing cold ice and hard benches. But we'd like to do something about that to make it a little more comfortable. But you know, just to preserve that history, because I feel that it's another little bit of Canadiana that will get lost as we renew and rebuild some resources. So that's kind of why I feel so tied, even though I'm not from the area, to that Spencerville Arena. It reminds me of all the rinks that's been here. So how can people help? You know, that's why I'm here to talk to our neighboring municipality, and we'll get some support that way. I'll go through in a minute on how to submit your stories and to help out in that way. So right now, what you can do is you can submit a story on Craft Hockeyville and go onto Craft Hockeyville and say find your arena and put it in Spencerville. It'll bring up our page. And then if you want to do a story, that's awesome. And that's 10 points each for each story. And there's 3 questions that you must answer when you do your story submission. And number 1 is tell us about community spirit and its passion for hockey. Number 2 is why is the Spencerville Arena important to you, your family, and your community. And then number 3, how would you use the $250,000 to upgrade and improve the arena? So if you don't feel like submitting a story or don't have the time, even if you have old pictures from the Spencerville Arena, you can upload photos, and that's 3 points. And then even just to put a little note of support is 1 point on the website. So right now we're at 65 stories, which is awesome, 184 photos and 31 notes. So we're you know, the community has really done an exceptional job of stepping up, and we've gotten amazing support from all of the neighboring municipalities, so North Grenville, Augusta, yourselves, South Dundas as well. So everyone's really pitched in to help us out with this. So again, humbly asking for some support, and I've also left a couple of our Spencerville Bruins shirts that we're using to promote the event. So do with them as you wish. But other than that, I know we've got another delegation, and that's it for me.
Well, thank you.
If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Sean. Justin, anything?
I mean, we've been through Craft Hockeyville. I've been through it with Prescott, you know, doing different events and stuff. Learned to skate in Spencerville, played hockey in Spencerville, refereed in Spencerville, attended dances in Spencerville. So I have a passion for it myself. I like the old buildings, and definitely, we've been sharing it on South Grenville Minor Hockey. We've shared it on the row, and you know, I've shared it myself, and we'll continue to share some more, and hopefully we can help out.
Good. Well said. Leanne?
I think that, thank you for coming, by the way, Sean, and thank you for your presentation. I think as neighboring municipalities, we should be rallying together and helping our neighbor municipalities. And what a great way. I've played hockey in Spencerville, did many different events in Spencerville Arena. Love the character, love the old change room doors that don't really shut all the way, and the hard benches. But yeah, we should be rallying all together as one team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mary, anything?
Oh, just way to go. It's a lot of organizing, so kudos to you.
Yeah. Tracy?
Oh, thank you.
No?
No, I was just gonna say, I have lots of memories with my kids, so I will definitely get on that.
Lee, do you have anything to add? Lee might be frozen.
I think he's frozen.
Frozen in time.
Anyway, on behalf of Mayor Shankar, thank you very much for coming this evening, and we wish you the best of luck. And if there's something else we can do for you, please don't hesitate to ask.
Will do. Thank you very much, council.
Okay.
Thank you.
Get back to you.
All right.
Thanks, Sean.
Our second delegation this evening, John Hoyles, and John is here to talk about 211. And in the few minutes that I had to speak with him before, I found out that he knows my brother-in-law. And I was from North Bay, and you spent time in Temiskaming where my brother-in-law worked. So we have a connection already, small world. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, and thank you, councillors, for your time. I wanted to say, first of all, as I said to Mr. Young, I many years ago practiced law and in New Liskeard and Haileybury, Cobalt area, and I acted for a number of small municipalities. I was in private practice, but I was the town solicitor. So I've been to a lot of these meetings at that time, but I love coming to a place like Prescott. First of all, it's a beautiful place. Secondly, small towns to me make the heart of this country. And so it's a pleasure for me to be here, and I thank you for your time. I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everywhere I speak about 211. How many of you have heard of 211? Well, I'm doing better here than in a lot of places. So the reason I asked that question is I had worked as the CEO of the Canadian Bar Association for 20 years, and I left in 2016, and I got approached about being executive director of an organization called Community Navigation of Eastern Ontario, which is a not-for-profit charitable organization that's been running 211 in Eastern Ontario since 2008. My first question was, what the hell is 211? I didn't know what it was. And then they sent me the material. And basically, 211 is there to help people that need help, vulnerable people. And I'll talk about that a bit later. I know I only got a very limited amount of time, so I'm going to, one of the things is I've presented across Eastern Ontario, lots of municipalities about one of the services we offer, which is emergency disaster support. And in order to we have 15 agreements signed right now. I was doing really well till COVID came along because I was traveling all over. I was at Madoc, I was Alexandria, and then COVID came and stopped. And we're just getting sort of back up and running again to get more municipalities. But the big thing is that for smaller municipalities and mid-sized ones, we have agreements with Iron Park, agreements with Belleville, when you get a disaster happening, which hopefully doesn't happen very often, you've got limited staff to get the work done. And we can help, and I'll explain why in a second. But first thing you're going to ask, and that's what I'm presenting, is a lot of you haven't heard of 211. You don't know anything about Community Navigation of Eastern Ontario. And so why would you have an arrangement with us unless we're a credible organization to deal with? So I'm going to just explain a little bit how 211 works so that you hopefully will have that confidence to enter into an arrangement that costs you no money, and we can help you out during a disaster, and it's in your plan and so on. So you can skip that slide, Chloe. We're free information and referral. We have an incredible comprehensive database, and we're the first point of access to human services and resources throughout Ontario. Next slide. There are 5 of us that provide this service regionally. Here we're in Eastern Ontario. The Lakehead Social Planning Council in Thunder Bay does the north. Find Help does the Toronto GTA area. Windsor the southwest, and Community Connection Central East. 211 was not across the country until COVID came along, and the federal government gave money so that the Yukon, Northwest Territories, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador all developed 211 services. And so we're anywhere in the country that if you're calling, call 211 and get connected to help. Next slide, please. It's targeted live confidential help. So 211 phone calls are answered by certified community navigators, not automated systems, a live person, but we do text and we do chat and we do email because people prefer different channels to communicate. We can do service actually in more than 200 languages now. That's out of date, using a thing called Language Line. I didn't believe it when I started. I said, how do you do that? Well, you call, and within about 2.5 minutes, you get an interpreter, no matter what language it is. Works really well. We're 24/7, 365, and we're standards driven. Next slide. So I'm not expecting to be able to read this, but we are accredited like a hospital gets accredited or social service actually gets accredited by an organization called the Association of Information Referral Systems. And you'd see there are 28 standards that we have to meet. And it's like they do a site visit, they go through our database, they do secret shopper calls to check that we're doing the call properly, to make sure, and we get accredited every 5 years. Every community navigator and every data curator, which we'll talk about in a minute, once you get rid of this problem, must have to start the certification process, and they have to renew every 2 years and write an exam to make sure that they're keeping up to speed on the latest things. Next slide. We're funded by the Ontario government, Ministry of Community and Social Services, and United Ways, and United Way and Leeds Grenville is one of our funders. There's 3 parts of what we do: public inquiry, online directories, and caller needs. Next slide. So you call us. We've had 308,000 calls across the province of Leeds Grenville. In 2025 in Leeds Grenville, we had 501. The word is getting out. In 2023, we did 32,000 calls. 2024, we did 62,000 calls. 2025, we did 92,000, I should say contacts, because that counts chats and texts as well. Part of that is that we not only do 211, we answer calls for Good to Talk, which is a mental health line for colleges and university students. There's another organization called the Ontario Caregivers Organization, and we answer calls for them. And there's a smaller one we do a report on, where people want to report somebody who's got a disability that's being abused, they can call, and we do a report there as well. So our job, and what we do is taking calls and chats and texts for people that need different kinds of help. Next slide. Chat, keep going, thanks. I promised Chloe that even though it was long, I would get through quick. This is a slide I just want to focus on for a minute. Community navigators are the people that answer the calls, and we're looking to hire people, we're looking for people that are empathetic, curious. We provide all the French language services across the province, so every one of those persons has to be perfectly bilingual. They're trained to conduct an assessment. When somebody says, 201 just gives out phone numbers, I get very upset. On time to time, we just give out phone numbers, but that's 85% of the calls we get, we make a referral. There's only 15% that's just straight information. So they're prepared to access and meet the immediate short-term needs. I'm not going to read the slide to you. We have broader training, crisis intervention, suicide intervention. We don't counsel, but we have people take the assist program from the Canadian Mental Health Association because they need to know how to talk to the person until we get them connected to the distress center. So that kind of thing. Actually, this community navigation chart here, this is probably just explain how it works very quickly. Person calls, we ask them, okay, we start talking to them, and I can tell you many, many times that the person calls us, the problem they think they have after you've asked them a few questions is that it's not going to be that problem, it's something else. And many times it's multiple problems. So somebody calls and they're looking at, they can't pay their hydro bill. This winter's been cold, it's been expensive. So they're looking for help. Well, there's a program called LEAP with Ontario Hydro that can help out. But then the navigators are trained. Is there anything else? Well, the paycheck's running out. I'm not going to have enough money to buy food till the end of the week. So it's a food bank referral. And then they say, I'm 2 months behind on my rent. So it may be a referral to a legal aid clinic or something like that to help them out with that. And the other thing is, we do that. That's when we get the call. Depending, the navigators have 8 weeks training before they're allowed to go on the lines. And they learn very quickly how likely is the person's going to actually take the number and call. So certain people, they say, here's the number, here's what they organize, this is the right place to ask for, this is the right department to ask for, and they feel okay. You get the second situation where they're a little hesitant, you're not sure. So the navigator will ask them, can I call you back? Will you give me consent so I can call you back 24 hours from now to find out how you're doing? We do that. The third one is where you get somebody, they get to know that the person they're going to take it, but they're not going to do anything. So, well, I'll make the call with you. We call a warm transfer. So if it's during the time of the agency's open hours, we will call, we'll explain the situation, and we'll back out of the call when we feel that they've got connected and away you go. And so we really are doing advocacy at that point to help the person get connected. Next slide. So we have a database of over 60,000 resources. We maintain in Eastern Ontario with our creators 7,700 records of services, Leeds Grenville throughout the whole Eastern Ontario. And there's several things where for our certification, two important things I will share. Number one, on the contact side, our goal is to 85% of the time answer calls within 90 seconds. Okay, which we've all made the Rogers or Bell call where an hour later you're still sitting there. When people are stressed and need help, they don't need to be waiting on the phone for a long time. The other thing is the database is key to the navigators because that's where they first look for services. So that database under the certification program, 85% of those 7,700 records must be updated annually, at least once a year. So our data creators full-time, we divide that 7,700 into 12 months and we send out a batch of emails. And then if we don't get an answer from some, we send a second email. And if we don't get an answer to that email, then we phone. Because we have to make sure that the location hasn't changed, the phone number hasn't changed. A lot of times people have added programs, we're taking away programs. But we don't want to be making a bad referral because we want to make sure we're connecting to the right place. Next slide. So this is the data curators. You could pay me $1 million, I wouldn't do this job. They have to be meticulous. They have to be careful. We have a thing called taxonomy. It's like the Dewey Decimal System in the library where everything has to be in the right place because when there's an overflow of calls in Collingwood in Central East or in the North, those calls will come to us. So they're trained exactly the same way. So our goal as well is to keep our abandonment rate as low as possible. During COVID, it went up to 22% because we were just inundated like everybody else. We're now back down under 10%. Our goal is to get to about 5% because some people will just hang up. They'll change their mind and hang up. So it's really important that we have the right information for people. And so, as I say, these people are trained to be meticulous, to dot every I and cross every T, I would say. And we also do custom portals for people. In Kingston, for example, there's a thing called the Canadian Frailty Network, which is to help seniors. They wanted to have, first of all, people love to create databases, but there's one question when the organization calls me and wants to know about it. I said, how much money have you in your operating budget to keep it up to date? And I said, what do you mean? I said, the day you put the database up live, pardon me, next day something's going to be out of date. And so what we do now is we partner with people and they use our database. For example, it's Canadian Frailty Network. We wouldn't, just set it down at the bottom, powered by Community Navigation of Eastern Ontario 201 East. But they just use our data and they get to pick which icons they want on their homepage, what services they're offering. So we do that for a number of organizations in Eastern Ontario. Next slide. So this is our website or our portal, and these are the different icons. I won't bother. I know that we'll send you the whole deck to you if you want to have it. Next slide. This just gives an example. I'm going to move up because my eyes are old. This is a healthcare example of broken down community health centers, finding a medical professional, home support programs, hospitals, that type of thing. Next slide. And this is a record that the navigator would look at. An example here is the Children with Mental Health of Leeds Grenville. So it says description of the services, eligibility, application process. Next slide. And then it has contact information for the organization. And these are the things that have to be read. And behind that, there is extra information that's not available to the public to help our navigators with anything unusual. There'll be a prompt for them to see that. And I always put the slide up because if you do go to the online and you find something that doesn't make sense, we try to be perfect, but we're not. And so we want feedback all the time. And the most important thing to maintain that high quality is constructive feedback, because we can't see everything. When you've got 7,700 resources, you're going to miss something. It's just the way it is. Next slide. So I don't know this. I mean, what's King doing there? I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'll have to fix my PowerPoint. So we gathered a lot of information, which I won't bore you with tonight, but we gathered demographic information. Next slide. So in Leeds Grenville, we had 638 needs identified. There were, and most of those were in Brockville, as you can see, and then down through, just looking here, Prescott had 59, and there are all kinds of different needs. We can take the pie chart can go down in greater detail to show you what the different areas were, what the questions were. Next slide, please. This is the one that we share with a number of municipalities all the time, because unmet needs. So you can see here the different reasons, full waiting list, no resource, can be found ineligible for service, that kind of thing. So that shows where the gaps are. One of the ones that we're having all the time now, and won't surprise anybody, is we get calls for people, especially in this type of weather, they're looking for a shelter. Shelters are full. And it gets very frustrating because the navigators they're not paid a lot of money, but they believe in the cause. So they're determined they're going to find something to help somebody. And if they can't find it in their database, they'll start Googling, okay, to see if they can find another solution. So I just didn't want to spend too much time on it, to show that data is available. The municipality could ask, do you have the data? So now we get to the real reason I'm here, is Tucson is available for public inquiry to support any municipal governments in emergency response and recovery. So next slide. This is just a list of different events where the last one we did a lot of work on was flooding in the spring of 19 in Prescott, Russell. And my colleague Pam up in Collingwood with Bracebridge had bad flooding that year as well. And we were actually we had the signed agreement with Clarence Rockland. So one of my staff went to their situation meetings every day and said, here's what people are calling about, that kind of thing. And I was saying earlier that that we do lots of tabletop exercises with different municipalities that are doing that kind of thing. And so that we can be part of that call 211. So what do we do? Now I'm going to ask you to go blind, give you this. Here you go.
I can pass it along. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. This is I put in the slide, but they can't read it. So this first document, where's my copy? Basically what we can do in simple terms, let's just say you had a train, flip over and there was chemicals getting away, or if there are floods, you're right on the river, okay? What you can do, it can be 2 o'clock in the morning. You can call us and say, will you create a disaster record? We will. Usually take about an hour, hour and a half. Then you can tell us, I'll use floods as an easy example, where people can pick up sandbags. You give us all the information you want us to have available when somebody calls. Then on your website, on your phone message, whatever way people are communicating with you, you can say, if you're looking for support, call 211. So that means that you don't have to have staff doing that. They can be focused on the disaster. And the first time I made this presentation was up in, where the heck was it? I'm going blank. Up in the Renfrew County, but the council at the end said, how much is it going to cost? Okay, we don't have any money.
Question
I said,
is coming.
it costs $0. It's a service we offer. And you'll see at the back of this, there's some, the first page is what you put in the emergency plan. Then there's a very straightforward service agreement. What I liked about this, when I first got on the job 8 years ago, is that it's plain English. It just says what we're going to do, what you're going to do. And then there are contact forms. So it's really important when somebody calls us and said, they're calling from Prescott and we want to have a disaster record, we'll immediately flip to see who was authorized from the municipality to request that. So you get provided with 3 names, and then you have on the very back part, the 3 of us that take calls. If you call us in the middle of the night, if you have a disaster, it'll be one of Julie, myself, or Zachary that will take those calls. So it's very straightforward. I really, in seeing what's happened in several municipalities where we've actually activated it, it has really worked. I remember the CAO in Clarence Rockland said, John, they had the floods in 2017 and then they had them again in 2019. It was so much better because we had the extra help from us. So with Augusta Township, your neighbor, has signed the agreement. Again, the other thing we do, because people change jobs, is every year we will write to whoever we have on file who's responsible, like Tracy, and say, is that contact list up to date? Or if our contact list has changed because somebody's left our place, we send a fresh list so you have the right contacts from us. So we'll diarize it so you don't have to worry about it, but we'll diarize it, send it to the CAO or to the person responsible for emergency disaster planning in Prescott. So that is it in a nutshell. I don't know if I stuck to the 10 minutes or not, but I can tell you, as I said at the beginning, I didn't know anything about 211. I'll just share one story with you about why it's wonderful organization to work for. We're helping people every day. October, November, December are our busiest months. Just people are, looking for help, looking for toys or things for their children, all that kind of thing. But it also, a vulnerable person can be of any age and any background. So one very quick comment. We get calls from seniors, okay, who spouses die and they didn't have a great network and they're lonely. So they could be sitting in a nice condo with $1 million in the bank, but they're lonely and really struggling. And for example, their Eastern Ontario is expanding now, but I know it's another one starting to call the Friendly Voice. And they are a volunteer organization. We connect them and they call a person and then they try to find out how they can get them involved in the community where they live. So that's one example. The other example is one that I appreciate because I'm a little bit older than most people in this room, probably all people in this room, anybody. One night I was at the office and Rico, one of our navigators, came to my deck door, and this was late because at that time we weren't 24 hours, it was about 6:45, and I was working late, and she said, I got a gentleman that's on the line and he wants to know what the governance structure of community navigation. We don't train the navigators about the governance structure. So I said, well, put him through to me. And so he did, and he got chatting and just started talking. After a couple of, I introduced myself, he introduced himself, and he said, I'm over 65. I said, so am I. Okay, kind of broke the ice. But he had a really challenging problem. He lived in a rural area, had a small house. His spouse had died several years ago. He had no family in the area, and he had a terribly, terribly problem with his right knee. And he just come back from the doctor, said, you need to have a knee replacement, but you have to have somebody for 3 weeks to stay with you. And the gentleman said to me, I don't have anybody, so I guess I can't get rid of this pain. I said, hold on, I'm going to put you back to Marika because I don't know how to search the database. And I gave him my cell number and said, if you don't get an answer, call me. Marika told me she did find an organization in that municipality, and that it was west of here, and he was able to get help. So that's the kind of thing. Just one call like that every week, it just makes all the difference in the world. So when you get up in the morning and somebody said, why are you still working? I don't mind telling you, I'm 75 years old, but why am I still working? Because every day I get up and I think, hey, we're going to go and help somebody else. And so it's a sort of a dream job. So my friends bug me, John, they're all retired. John, why don't you retire? Why would I retire? I'm having fun. So it's a great organization. We emphasize quality. I can assure you as best I can that these agreements are really important to us. We'll do our very best job if you decide, and hopefully you're never going to have to use it actually, okay? That won't be a disaster, but it really can help your small team of staff to have another escape valve. And I'll tell you one thing, that we are working on a free system to help organize spontaneous volunteers. Because in 2017 in Prescott, Russell, it was a mess. Because Clarence Rockland got legal advice, just put the sand in a parking lot, put the sandbag there, walk away, because if you help any of these volunteers, you could be liable. Alfred Plantagenet just helped out. They took their equipment and helped people work, and so the people in Clarence Rockland were very, very upset. We got asked by United Way to look into this. Long story short, I was sure somewhere in North America they would have a way to organize spontaneous volunteers. We found none. We found the United Way in Peterborough had tried to keep a volunteer list, but people don't think of volunteering when there's no disaster. With Clarence Rockland, they got swamped because what happened is right near Ottawa. Oh, gee, they're flooded. I'll go there. I'll take my kids. Take my dog. I'm in sandals. But this whole program we're developing called recovers.org, software developed by two young women in the States that allows you to organize it. It's a free software. And so we're developing a whole plan. We've tested it with Russell Township. They tried it in their looked at it and said, I think it works. So we're hoping to get them where we can roll it out and share it with any municipality that wants it. It's free as well, because all you need is somebody that has a little bit of computer knowledge. Even I was able to do it, which was amazing. So it's very easy, but it allows you to register, because the key thing when we talk to the insurance companies is that if the municipality registers the person, you've got liability coverage. But you needed a simple, easy way to do that. So that's what we developed. But anyway, that's a teaser for another time. Anyway, Deputy Mayor Young, I don't know, I'm happy to answer questions. And I know you're running late, so I'll get out of your hair.
Before I ask for questions, I don't want to burst your bubble, but you're not the oldest person in the room.
Okay, I'm not going to ask who that is, but I might be able to guess.
Are there any questions?
I have none. I think it's great.
No. Yeah.
I think this is an amazing program and thank you for your presentation. This needs to be put everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And is it, our website could be, a start if possible?
Well, the 211 number, I left you the little brochure.
Yep.
We can send that to here, and they can hand it out to people. Anywhere else that you want in the community, at the arena, whatever it could be, we will ship this stuff to you for free. We'll send you as many as you want. If you want 500, we'll send you 500. And I thought I brought something else.
I think that's a great idea because, schools and our library,
Yeah, exactly.
we could put them in our tax bills per se.
Fire Chief Rainey,
Social media.
he could put them in as.
I did. Oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is an excellent program and I think if we can get the word out faster, the better.
Well, the other thing we do is, I have two of my colleagues, we go and do presentations over to seniors groups. So if some group you're involved in that would like to have, is that we do a presentation. I did one in Cornwall to all the staff at the Children's Aid Society. They use us all the time. It's not just for the individuals. They're trying to find something. They can't find it. They call us. Okay, so it's there. And I said, as I said, I have PowerPoint will travel. So I'm happy to, as you can tell, I really hate doing this stuff. But in any event, I thank you for that point.
Harry?
So practically, to sign up, we go through our emergency management.
Well, they make the recommendation here. The leader is there.
You got a report coming to council.
Okay, all right.
And then, as I said, the agreement is simple. And it just says, yeah, we're going to work together. And then we keep the contact up. And they said, that's really why it's, and then you got the first page and the thing I have is what they put in the emergency plan right there. Okay? If you want to just call us and that information, the contact sheet should be in the plan and call us and we set up the disaster record.
Because we did have a train derailment.
Pardon me?
We did have a train derailment here.
Yes.
We did. Two. Thank you.
Anything else? Staff? No? All right. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you. And thank you for your time. I'll let you get on with the rest of the agenda so you can get home for a very late dinner.
All right.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
All right, number 6 on the agenda is the minutes of the previous council meeting. Now, there was a little mix up in sending the minutes out. Has everyone had a chance to read them? No? All right, so the other option is to move to approve these minutes at the next council meeting. So we'll just pass on number 6. Okay, is that all right? Right. Number 7, communications and petitions, none. The consent report, council information package. The motion is that all items listed under the consent report section of the agenda be accepted. So Justin and Tracy. And are there any items that people want to withdrawn from the package? No? All right, all in favor? Thank you. It's carried. Where are we? Okay, committee reports. 9.1 is the removal of properties from heritage interest and value properties listing. Motion that council approve the Prescott Heritage Committee's recommendation to remove the following properties from the heritage interest and values property listing. Suppose I should read them, should I? 157 Dibble Street West, 172 Dibble Street West, 495 King Street West, 202-214 King Street West, 281 Dibble Street West, 171 Dibble Street West, 691 Water Street, 218-224 King Street West, and 253 King Street West. So all of these properties at one time had been proposed for designation, and a new review has found that they don't necessarily warrant it. So if someone would.
Mover and seconder. Just the mover and seconder.
All right, it's just, we don't need a motion. Is that what you're saying? We do need a motion. Yes, okay. All right,
They just need a mover and seconder.
Yeah, you're at the motion. I'll move it.
yeah,
I'll second it.
all right. Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor? All right, Chelsea's in favor too. Okay. Mayor's report. Well. Okay, the deputy mayor's report.
Sorry, I just found that amusing.
Did you? All right, last week was pretty quiet, but the week before that was extremely busy. Had a meeting at St. Lawrence Lodge. We talked about an influenza outbreak in December that has now been no longer declared an outbreak. Now, this information is almost 2 weeks old. But at that time, there was no outbreak, but masks are required for any visitors. The next day was a Prescott Cemetery Board meeting where we approved the contract for maintenance of the grounds and the price list for 2026. Thursday night was a big event in town where Councillor Tracy Young and I attended. Leeds Granville Greatest Entrepreneurs Gala. We listened to 6 finalists, 3 from Leeds and 3 from Granville, new business entrepreneurs, and they were making a pitch to win a prize of $10,000. A very significant prize for most of these people. There was more than 100 people in our grand room, and that's crowded. And over 100 people. All 6 proposals were very impressive. But the winner from Grenville was Tempo Drive Music Studio in Kemptville. And the winner from Leeds was Patty Curran at Curran Reading Corner. She plans to triple her capacity as a center specializing in reading intervention and dyslexia support. So $10,000 will go a long way towards helping her with the new location. This was the first annual event sponsored by Thousand Islands Community Development Center and Community Futures Granville. Saturday, I had the privilege of welcoming people to Prescott at the Legion Hall on behalf of Prescott and the Knights of Columbus and Special Olympics coaches, parents, and athletes. It was a fundraising and there were 200 people there, most of 200 people, where they gathered up some checks and it was a fun drive where chili and hot dogs and cake was served. It was a great a great afternoon. There are 3 athletes from this area that are going to compete at the Canadian trials, and I think it was Calgary, was it? Yeah. It was wonderful, and I noted that their motto, this is something that they say before they compete in every event. It says, "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt," which I think is just great. And for any of us considering running for council later this year, we might remember those words. All right. Councillor Young, you have something to report?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Young. Just that the Leeds and Granville Entrepreneur Gala was really great, and it really highlighted how important entrepreneurs are in our community. We had a working group with the BIA, so we're looking at finalizing our AGM and the budget to present to council. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Good. And you enjoyed your evening at the Entrepreneur Gala?
Yeah.
Yes. Look very happy, and photos that I've seen of them.
It was very good.
It's an inside joke, Leanne.
Yes, absolutely.
Lee, do you have anything to report down there?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Young. I don't have anything to report, but I was tempted to ask for a amendment to the agenda because I've been in contact by email back and forth with our CAO, Mr. Armstrong, in regards to the sale of Central Public School. I saw that on Facebook a few days ago, and I was under the impression that when a school board sold a school, they first had to offer to other school boards and then to government. And I was very surprised because that had not crossed our desk, that it had been sold in the public venue. So I expressed that to Mr. Armstrong, asked him if he knew anything about it. He expressed his concern too and surprised that that had been done. And so rather than ask for an amendment to have this discussed, I would prefer just to ask Mr. Armstrong if he could look into it and report back to us at a future meeting, because that is a large piece of property. I believe the town should have had the same happen there. And in particular, that school, if you take a look at the cornerstone, was not built by the United Counties or by the Leeds and Grenville District School Board. It was built by the Prescott School Board, and all the names that are on that stone of the board members are all local men. It had local people. I'm not sure they were all men, but it has had a significant impact on our local, our local economy, all social aspects, and I think it behooves us to find out what's going on there and why we weren't notified or advised that it was coming up for sale. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with you, Lee. I was surprised to hear that it had been sold and we knew nothing about it. But anyway, that's Mr. Armstrong has noted that, and I'm sure we'll hear back from him. Leanne?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Young. The library's been very busy, weeding out old books. So we've been, that's a big job for the library and their staff to weed out all these old books, but they're working really hard at it. So there's a Shakespeare meeting coming up February 17th, and we're looking at having an AGM March 30th for Shakespeare. So the venue hasn't been determined yet, but I'll let council know what closer to that date.
Great, thank
And I'm
you.
wishing Mayor Shankar a very speedy recovery.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Mary?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Young, I attended the fire admin meeting on February 3rd. In terms of their training, they're going to be doing first aid basic in February, but building on it. So for example, they know all about first aid, but did they happen to look for the medical alert bracelet on someone before they started administering first aid? Those kind of additional things they're going to be learning about. They're not going to do water rescue in March as they normally do, maybe because the river's frozen, not quite sure.
More likely, they were going to ask you as the volunteer to be rescued.
March 7th, they're having their 4th annual food drive, and from 9 to 3 p.m. and it'll be both at the Independent Grocer and Giant Fiber. They're continuously doing training on trucks, and they're actually doing 6 modules that are going to be timed. So they'll have a scenario, they've got to go through it, but they got to do it within the time frame that it's established. They have 2 new recruits that applied to be on the team, and they are ready. One of them is John McCurdy, and he's ready to go on the trucks. And the other one is John Harper, and he's soon to be on the trucks. So that's great. We've got 2 new additions. The anniversary, Scott Stevenson has been there for 10 years, I guess. And Brent Norton has been for 45 years service. They got 2 grants, the $16,000 fire protection grant that we learned about at our last meeting, and $7,000 Legion grant. And after 31 years, we've received a resignation from John Houston. He'll be leaving on March 31st after 31 years.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Justin?
Thank you. Through you, Deputy Mayor Young. I also attended the Special Olympics. I was a couple minutes late, so I slid in the backside there, but great turnout. I was previously in Cardinal, and Prescott definitely showed up for that event. Just a couple operational notes is snow removal is currently scheduled for Thursday. There's a lot of snow coming again, so never know what will happen there. The hydrants continue to be maintained by operations, so all the hydrants have been blown out and accessible for the fire department. Cul-de-sac snow removal continues. Just a couple highlights in the community. So there was 2 tournaments held at the Elaine Chartrand Center since our last meeting. One was the Brockville Angels, and then there was the South Granville U18 Mullet Cup. A total of 7,800 people were counted through the doors coming into the community.
That's great.
Hotels, restaurants benefited. The canteen was busy. I was there, talked to them. They were running off their feet. Ditchies is the sports store in the Elaine Chartrand Center. Very positive response from him. So just a proof of sports can really bring in people to the community. I think we really have a good thing going here. I also attended the Prescott Skate Night 1-year anniversary on Saturday. It was the first time, although I'd been invited several times. It just happened to work out that I was able to attend. There had to be over 100 people there, which was down, I'm told, from the last 3 events they had. It was well run. I talked to people from Kemptville, Brockville, Alexandria, Addison, Ottawa, and one from Gananoque that came down. What really surprised me was the mix of youth and adults. So they have it sectioned off, so the more advanced skateboarders and then the beginners, and in between is seats. It was perfect. There was lots of children there, lots of youth there, but there was also quite a bit of adults, 40 up. I couldn't believe how many people were still skateboarding, and everybody I talked to, they were so appreciative of the opportunity to be able to skateboard in the winter, especially the adults and the youth. One girl from Kemptville who was signed on a semi-pro contract by On Deck, which is a skateboard company out in Ottawa. She attended. She's been to every one. Her mom loves it there. The other big thing was knowing most of the youth in Prescott, or a good chunk of them, from soccer and hockey. I know which youth aren't in hockey and they're in soccer, probably due to the affordability. And you know, what I saw there that night was a lot of youth attended there that aren't captured anywhere else in the winter, or some of them even in the summer. All respectable. They have staff that are youth and adults. They wear orange shirts. They have staff on them. I think every one of them came to thank me before I left.
Terrific.
You know, so they fed people. There's no cost, right? It's a great event, honestly. You know, the amount of people that were there that night and the amount of appreciation, just the different walks of life that were mixed in there was something great. And it just goes to show, I hate to say it, what a blessing that community center has turned out to be in the absence of hockey.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you. Matt, did you have any other update? Oh, sorry.
I forgot one thing, sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
Go ahead.
We also presented a scroll that night on behalf of the town to Jacob Pink, for his volunteer and his drive to get that up and going.
Yeah.
Prescott Skate Night. So thank you.
Good. Matt, was there any other update on the snow removal? It was when? Wednesday night now?
Yeah, Councillor Kirky is correct. Yeah, we say Wednesday night / Thursday morning.
Right,
Really,
right.
it's from
Yeah.
12 a.m.
Yeah.
to 8 a.m. Thursday morning.
Yeah.
So we'll be putting public messaging out tomorrow about encouraging and noting, cars off the street, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
For Thursday morning.
Good. And all our equipment is running at this moment?
Everything is back. Yeah, we had a sidewalk plow. We only have 2 sidewalk plows. One was away for repairs. It returned Friday. So
Okay,
we're in good shape equipment wise.
terrific. Good. A couple of staff are off sick, but they'll be back for Wednesday night, Thursday morning, right? That's great. Thank you very much. I guess we're at 12 and Matthew, the strategic plan update.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to walk through a bit of a presentation. I'm going to try and go at a pretty good pace. Okay, so this is the 2024 to 2027 strategic plan check-in as of today. So obviously vision being to be recognized as a welcoming, progressive, exceptional riverside community of choice. Mission to offer an environment of collaborative leadership, grow a safe, inclusive, and resilient community while preserving the unique character of Prescott. And then our values and guiding principles are listed. So objective number 1, with priority number 1, is encouraging significant housing development. So we've sold the surplus land on boundary to Claxton Terrace, approximately 14.5 acres north of the CN rail line for residential purpose. 2 18-unit apartment buildings the zoning amendments have been approved and construction is expected to commence this year. We're going through an RFP process for 4.7 acres south of the CN rail line on Boundary Street. And that's currently in progress. And again, currently in progress is the Prince Street, 4.5 acres south of the CN rail line. From an infrastructure perspective, we've replaced the aging water tower with one that is appropriately sized to the water treatment plant, increasing our storage capacity by 2,000 cubic meters. That's also 2 million liters of water, just as a conversion. The final phase of the project will be completed this year with the demolition of the old water tower. And then we're in the design phase for the 33% expansion of the wastewater treatment plant and the extension of water and sewer services into Augusta Township to support 2,500 new dwellings in Prescott and Augusta, with construction expected to start in 2026. And finally, the town, from a comprehensive zoning bylaw, we're going through a review of that, and we expect to have it substantially completed in 2026. From an objective number 2 standpoint, supporting business retention and growth, we're happy to report Quality Inn, that 69-room hotel was completed. The numerous grand openings, relocations, renovations, and business anniversaries throughout town in 2024 and 2025. Food Basics is in progress and expected completion in 2026. Wellington House is currently in progress with its completion expected in 2027. And we're currently, as you heard earlier this evening, contemplating for the Northern Cables expansion. Investing funds necessary to support community improvement applications. So there's a top up of the fund in 2024 of $200,000 and $450,000 in grants for 25 projects, and $1.3 million in loans were approved in 2024 and 2025. And then we're continuing to expand the reach of the monthly Invest Prescott newsletter, which contains helpful information and resources for businesses. Objective number 3 is to facilitate a thriving downtown. And so in 2024 and 25, there's expansion of the pop-ups, continued growth of the farmers and crafters market. We hosted the Ontario Firefighters Game in 2024, Riverfest, Spiritual Care Wellness Fair, Leeds Granville Trade Show, Train Show, Civic Holiday Weekend, sidewalk sales have all been ongoing and things that started in 2024 and 2025. The interactive mural was installed at the Clock Tower parking lot, constructed the riverfront patio at the Deepwater Dock, added scuba diver amenities, gardens along the Coast Guard property, directional wayfinding, and replacing the aging and rusted traffic poles with new black ones. We expect to complete this year the downtown beautification study for the Riverwalk District, and we're continuing to enhance the alignment between the BIA and the town to jointly support initiatives in a collaborative way. Moving on to priority number 2, objective number 1 being mobilizing youth and public engagement. We're continuing to foster relationships, direct relationship with the schools in Prescott to elicit feedback. We're actively partnering with the schools on student-led projects such as murals and real-world learning projects, support of the high school leadership conference attendance in 2024 and 2025, providing support and opportunities to local community-led skateboard group, we had a great report from Councillor Kirkby just a moment ago. Work with a wide range of groups to better understand the needs for baseball in Prescott, providing space for Connect Youth after school program, and piloting youth summer lunch program in 2025 based on our participation in the community-led poverty roundtable group. In 2026, we expect a community recreation committee to form, which will allow us to again gain a better understanding of what residents and youth want and need from recreation and how we can fulfill those needs. Objective number 2, promoting community healthcare, where we partnered with the United Counties, City of Brockville and Town of Gananoque on physician recruitment. We're providing financial support to the Prescott Family Medical Associates to offset administrative costs, and we continue to have new health-related practitioners opening offices in Prescott. From an active transportation perspective, we completed the waterfront trail linkage to the south end of George Street in 2024, the Seymour Recreation Complex. We added a half-kilometer outdoor walking track in 2025. The Land Chartrand Community Center has the indoor walking track, which was completed in 23. We are recognized by Ontario by Bike. The downtown Riverwalk district as being bike friendly, and there's 13 businesses registered in Prescott as being bike friendly as well. Extension of the waterfront trail to the splash pad for accessibility access is one of our projects for this year, and incorporating multi-use path into surplus land residential development requirements is something that we've done over the last couple of years. And we're continuing to consolidate and provide space to senior support services for the adult day program, as well as providing support and growth for pickleball and grouping our seniors focused fitness programming under Walker House. From objective number 3 standpoint, we're going to be discussing the community and safety wellbeing plan at the next OPP detachment board meeting. We installed the CCTV cameras in 2024. We responded to 15 requests from the OPP for footage in 2024 and 14 in 2025. We're continuing our emergency to update our emergency preparedness plan. And we heard this evening the 211 program that we could partner with. Preparing from a climate change perspective, where the water treatment plant filter upgrade to reduce water usage should be completed in the next 2 or 3 months. The water treatment flood protection project will be getting started later this year. We installed solar lighting at the Seymour Recreation Complex for basketball courts and skate park, eliminating the power consumption requirement in 2025, and looking at installing solar lighting at the Seymour Recreation Complex for the tennis, pickleball, and playgrounds areas in 2026. And we're continuing the Riverwalk area tree planter box program to support evergreening of trees in Prescott. And finally, we're continuing to communicate safety messaging to the community on social media. And that covers loss prevention, safety, fire, household hazard reductions, as well as looking to implement the civic address bylaw in 2026. So when we take a look at the priority number 3 and objective number 1, which is increasing tourism, we've completed the brand and marketing strategy in 2025, implementation in 26, and we continue to highlight our numerous recreation opportunities in Prescott. And from a public education standpoint, through various mediums, accommodating 4 tournaments in the spring ice scheduled this year at the ACCC, fostering partnerships for stay and play events with the new hotel and recreation groups, and then working with the community organization to explore how to grow offerings. Objective number 2, maximizing the waterfront. A number of these were covered previously, but we also worked on marina electrical panel upgrades to support the pop-up site in 2024, completed the marina dock replacement and electrical upgrades in 2025. That was a multi-year project. Pop-up site development in 2024, water-based experiential activities vendor was added to the pop-ups in 2025, continuing the development of the waterfront pathway, including completing the linkage to George Street, expanding the pathway to the splash pad, which will be considered in 2026, and addressing the undermining of the pathway along the shoreline by the Deepwater Dock. We also piloted the Snack Shack in Centennial Park in 2025 and added daily recreational programming to Centennial Park in 2025. We're continuing from a waterfront protection standpoint. We will be undertaking the water treatment flood plant protection this year and being able to offset the effects of climate change. Objective number 3, enriching Prescott's recreational and leisure infrastructure. So we completed the 2nd floor of Town Hall in 2024, including the fitness room and the grand room, Seymour Recreation Complex. We added 2 soccer fields, multi-use and basketball courts, skateboard pad, playground, 2 tennis courts, and 3 pickleball courts, and contemplation of the hardball baseball diamond for 2026, subject to council's approval and consideration. Continuing to expand the use of the Leo Boylan Community Center for pickleball, lacrosse, ball hockey, Connect Youth after school program, third-party events, and the great example of the skate Prescott nights that have been occurring over the last year. And then we're continuing to work with our partners in neighboring municipalities to coordinate active transportation, and that's participating in the United Counties Active Transportation Plan and working with MTO for the 401 overpass replacement, which is expected to be in the next 10 to 15 years, but certainly not a date that we can nail down at this moment. So that's the report in short order, and we're happy to answer any questions.
All right. Any questions? There are questions. Justin?
I don't really have a question, just a comment. Very well put together. When we sat up at the ACCC and discussed this, the results here is definitely what I was looking for, right? A move forward, new development, new avenues for tourism, just being out there more. Staff has done a great job in doing the work of council, the direction, And I just want to recognize this. I may use this for my reelection platform.
Good for you.
So thank you.
Mary, anything?
Yes, please, through you to Matthew. Would we add the river route bus as a accomplishment in this kind of listing?
Certainly, it didn't necessarily, it actually fit in the previous strategic plan.
Okay.
So that's why it wasn't mentioned here, but certainly it's an accomplishment of the wider organization and municipality.
Okay, thanks. It's a great listing.
Leanne?
Just a quick comment. I just want to echo what Councillor Kirkby was saying. You know, it just proves that we're a forward-thinking council, not just a term council, four-term council, forward-thinking community for our community. So, and you know, staff does all the work, and you know, kudos to them and congratulations to them, because this is a lot of work for our community, and thank you.
Good, thank you. Lee, did you have anything?
I can't think of anything to add to what's already been said, Ray, so I have nothing to say. Thank you very much. I know you find that hard to believe, but it is. It is what it is.
All right, thank you. Tracy, anything?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Young. I just echo everybody's comments, and just collaboration is key, really. You can't do anything on your own anymore. It takes a whole lot of people to make things successful.
All right, so that's for information only. It looks like 12.2, report number 04, 2026. The 2026 operational budget. Matthew, you're up again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor. So just wanted to kind of get a status update and a feel for where council would like to go from here. So with the new process, we've tabled the budget as of January 25th. There's a 30-day period in which council can make any amendments that they so choose. That's by a simple majority vote. Following that period, if there are amendments that are passed, then the mayor would have a chance to veto them by simple proclamation, a written proclamation. And then council, if they so choose, can try to overturn a mayor's veto. It's a very long process and somewhat complicated, but at any time, council can waive the remainder of the initial 30-day period for amendments to the budget, as well as the mayor can so choose to shorten the 15-day if they so choose. So subsequent to the January 25th meeting, we do at this moment have a balanced budget with an overall property tax increase of 3.94%. What I did hear is that there might be some wanting to add an additional night removal, which is approximately $15,000. Since our meeting, we do have and can take advantage of one-time transition funding from the health unit to offset the 2026 increase in the amount of $37,016. If we were to implement those two items and put the remaining $22,000 into reserve, that will help offset and bring in a phased approach to the increase next year for the health unit, then we would not change any of the bottom line numbers. There would just be some small adjustments, and we would achieve getting a 5th day for overnight snow removal. So just for council's information, we've done one night of snow removal in January. We're planning one this week, depending on how that goes, quite possibly again next week. And we have 4 in the budget. That would leave 1 more. If we add another, then that would leave 2 more for the remainder of February and March. By doing it this way, we would be able to hopefully sustain that 5 nights going into next year as well, into 2027, by doing it in a phased approach. So, but really, it's completely up to council as where we can go or what you want to do from here. You could pass the amendment as I mentioned. Just a moment ago, you could propose any other amendments. You can wait till the 23rd to bring those forward by a simple majority vote of council. And or if you have no further amendments or pass an amendment this evening and don't want to pass any more, then you can waive the remaining 30 days. But certainly wanted to provide an opportunity to just get the heartbeat of council and an understanding of where you'd like to go from here. And certainly all of the options are on the table.
Okay, thank you very much. Justin?
Thank you. Through you, Deputy Mayor Young. Is the proposal including the additional snow removal, or would that be an amendment?
So the amendment would be if you would like to take advantage of the one-time transition funding, which would decrease expenses by 37,000, and then add 15,000 to expenses for the snow removal, and add 22,000 as a transfer to reserve. Then that would be all one amendment if you so chose, or you could split them off. With the understanding, if we don't have anything to offset the 15,000, then we are going to have to find a way to pay for the additional night.
And so right now we've used one snow removal.
Correct.
We're going to use another one.
Yep.
If we don't use the other two, that money stays in the reserves, or where does that?
It just falls to the bottom line as an overall surplus. So we don't go line by line and part of the department when it comes to reserves, but they will remain in place until the end of December of 2026.
Or it's available for December 2026.
Well,
Correct.
yeah. And so I guess, I mean, I had several discussions with this, adding this snow removal. My thoughts came from during the Christmas season leading up to it was removing the banks to make the downtown more attractive.
I did make a similar suggestion.
Yeah, and with the four, the way I look at it is we're planning on doing one, if needed, December, January, February, March is kind of where we try to, unless we have to maintain the provincial standard, right? So you could use two in December or anytime, but the 5th would allow us some flexibility. Would that be fair to say, Matt?
Yeah, I would agree.
So in that sense, if we chose to do one early, even though it didn't meet the provincial standard, we could choose to do that. Would that be also correct?
Yes, so just, if I could, Mr. Chair, we do have minimum maintenance standards that pertain to how quickly we have to respond to a snowfall. There isn't a strict provincial regulation of how high a snowbank can be before you remove it. That tends to differ quite a bit from municipality to municipality. And so, yes, council can always set what they want that level to be at, and certainly council or staff can always authorize a removal, even if it falls outside of that prescribed limit. So yes, we do have the flexibility to remove at a certain date as opposed to at a certain height.
Yeah, and I'll just wrap up my comments and say that, I would support the budget as it is with the addition of the extra snow removal and the transfer relief to the health unit.
All right, thank you. Leanne?
I would support that too. I was going to make some comments about that. I think it's a good idea to go ahead and just have that buffer. And so I like the idea of the one-time transition funding that Matthew is put in his report. I do like that idea, just that little buffer.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get snow, some heavy snow tonight, tomorrow, and then snow movers. So it just gives us a little extra.
I can tell you that as a merchant, that week before Christmas and those snowbanks, and Will Peters and Jim French and Mike Boyles and some of the other old timers were around, there would be a lot of phone calls to the town hall saying, get rid of those banks, because it's usually the busiest week of the year. We lucked out, we did not remove them, and then we had mild weather, which did remove them, and that was part of the thinking. of the operational staff, but, yeah, I agree. We should be taking those snowbanks down. We always had that reputation of being one of the best in the area. So I think this is a good move.
And still do.
Yeah. Mary?
Oh, I agree.
Yep, good. Tracy, anything?
No, I agree as well. Thank you.
Okay, Lee?
I spent 16 years in the main street of Brockville, and I will agree that the main street of Prescott, the snow removal is better looked after than it is in Brockville. Obviously, I'm not in the snow, and I defer to those people who are in their judgment. But I have to wonder, we have substantial reserves, as I understand it, and dedicating some of them to an extra snow removal, I don't know if that's really necessary. I think it should be left to our people. They know what we expect as council. They know what the town expects as council. And if the snowbanks have to be removed and the money has to come from the reserves to do it in extra time, I think they should be given the leeway to go ahead and do it without any official direction. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Anything else? Matthew? Anything else? No? All right,
Are you looking to pass that?
sorry.
Are you looking to pass that?
I thought that was just for information too. No?
No,
Within the report, there was the option for council to pass an amendment to the budget.
Oh, okay.
If that's the will of council, which is what I believe I'm hearing around the table, we have prepared a draft motion that council might seek.
Bring it on.
Okay, it's typed. Don't have it written.
I'll just read it.
The council amend the 2026 operating budget as follows. The town take advantage of one-time transition funding through the health unit to offset the 2026 increase in health unit levy in the amount of $37,016. And add an additional night of snow removal at the expense of $15,000. The remaining $22,016 from the decrease of the health unit could be put into the reserve or would be put into the reserve to offset the increase in 2020 of the 2027 health unit expense.
Terrific. All right, could I have a mover? Leanne, seconder Justin, all in favor? Okay, thank you.
Process. So the only question I have outstanding is, does council wish to have one more meeting before, and with the possibility of passing any more amendments, or do you not foresee any more amendments and wish to waive your remaining time of 30 days? I'm ambivalent, just want to make sure that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I don't think you received any bombardment of
No,
paperwork.
No.
So I'm guessing that most people are happy with the 3.9 that you brought it in at. And so we await the mayor's.
so if you wish, you can waive the remainder of the 30-day period this evening, which would then trigger the mayor's 15 or 10-day period for veto. My initial indication that if this was to pass, that there would be no intention to veto, but that's always at the mayor's prerogative.
Well, he might be cranky though.
He could be.
Are you preparing that motion, Chloe? Thank you. Any other comments? Mary?
Through you. So what would be the harm if we vote on this tonight? Like, what would be the harm if we just said, no, we'll just wait another 30 days because there might be something that comes up?
So it would only be till the 24th of February. So it's not an additional 30 days. There's no issue with doing it. It's just if we want to finalize the budget and move it on. Currently, it's in draft form, and so it's just a matter of time.
Anyone else? No. All right, I have a feeling Justin is ready to make this motion once you read it.
The only thing I'm unclear of, Matthew, and perhaps you can clear this up. Do we have to have it subject to the approval of, or to the passing of the amendment?
No, because they already passed the amendment, so I think we're good. So that's already been in place. So the draft budget as amended, we wish to waive any further amendment period.
Sorry, I didn't look up. Lee, did you have anything to add?
No, I didn't. Well, you didn't look up when you called that last vote either. I didn't vote in favor of it. I was certainly in favor of taking advantage of the health unit money.
Right?
If it could have been split in two, I would have voted for that portion of it. But as I mentioned, I don't think there's a necessity to give a set amount to our people. I think they have enough on the ball. If we need an extra snow removal, to take the money from our reserves and do it. So I wouldn't have voted in favor of that. But as it turned out, it didn't matter anyway. But thank you for asking.
Okay,
The draft motion, council consideration is that council waive the remainder of the 30-day amendment period for the 2026 operating budget as amended.
okay. That's moved by Justin, seconded by Leanne. All in favor? Great. Lee,
Yeah,
favor or opposed?
in favor.
Thank you. Where are we? Down to 211, are we? Yeah.
Great.
Staff report 05/2026, 211 Eastern Ontario Services. And for this one, we go to Fire Chief Rainey.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
You want a motion?
You have to read.
Okay. The motion is that council directs staff to prepare a bylaw to enter into a service agreement with the 211 Eastern Region Services to be brought back to the council meeting of February 23rd, 2026 for contemplation. Okay, that's moved by Leanne, seconded by Mary. All right. Now, Chief,
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
let Chief speak first.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Tracy Day sends her regrets, so here I am. I will say that in front of you is the report. But I think the passionate portion of John Hoyle's presentation pretty well puts it all in place for you. What I will say is that it's a non-profit agency. It doesn't cost the municipality anything. And there's two sides to it. There's the non-emergency and the emergency version. So what's nice about it is, as he states, if someone's in trouble, they're not sure who to call, they can call 211. So they don't call 911. They don't call downtown, okay, down to the office. So what it does is it takes some layers away from staff to have to maybe answer questions that they might not know and then have to try and refer that. So it makes it nice and clean. For us, from the fire department aspect, we did have John speak to our emergency management meeting and was able to describe what it works for us. So if we did have a disaster, that we can take some off of our plate. So what it does is allows staff in their roles to conduct their business without worrying about who we call, when do we call, and then what they can do too is if we want some information to go out that's concise from the town, it could go to them, but we would, through council and staff, determine what that would be. So what it allows us to do is just allows us to be able to say, our plates are full, who is going to help us? And this actually does this for us. And I know if you look in the package, it does show other municipalities that do use service. And as I said, John is so passionate. John is very passionate and he knows his business, right? And the fact that he has the lawyer aspect too, that I like too, right? So that we're entering into something that's legal and that we wouldn't have any issues looking forward. And that there's other municipalities nearby that use the service.
Good. Any questions for the chief? Any other comments, chief?
I think,
Oh, Lee had one?
Just a comment, Ray, if I may. This is a great program. I echo the sentiments of my fellow counselors on it, but it's only as good as the information we provide it. So it's going to give our people one more thing to do, and that is to make sure that they contact this group when we do have an emergency, when we do have something that we feel people are going to be asking about. So the information from us to them is of paramount importance. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? No? Okay, Mary?
Through you, I'm just, in the motion, it says to bring it back to the next meeting for contemplation. Can we just vote on it?
No,
No.
we don't have a bylaw in place,
Okay, thanks.
and it must be entered into by bylaw.
Anything? Justin?
That's
All right. There were two things that went through my mind when John was speaking. There is no cost to the municipality at this time, but if the province withdraws their funding, there may be down the road. I support the program. I think it's a great program, and we take advantage of the freebie as long as we can, and then we deal with whatever happens when it happens. Okay, that was number one. The other question I wanted to ask, would he make available to us the issues raised by the 59 calls from Prescott?
I do believe,
I think he meant, I think he meant Prescott Russell.
Oh, did he?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, because he doesn't have, we don't use his service.
okay, all right.
Because I thought of that too.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. That makes sense. Thank you. Okay, all in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Thank you, Lee. Okay, now we're down to report number 06, 2026. And that is with regard to the public meeting tonight and OPA 2025-01 and ZBA 2025-002. 0 Thomas Street, Prescott, and this will be Chloe and Tim are going to report on it, but I guess the motion, first of all, council directs staff to return a supplementary report to the February 23rd, 2026 council meeting, incorporating questions, comments / feedback, and any applicable modifications received during the public meeting held February 9, 2026 for the official plan amendment and the zoning bylaw amendment. Applications for 0 Thomas Street, Prescott. All right. Someone like to move that motion? Justin and Mary, thank you. All right, Chloe and Tim. It's up to you.
Sure.
You ladies first.
The supplementary report that is included in this council package, which differs from the public meeting package, only includes the recommendation to defer and direct staff to provide a supplementary report. In the lead up to our council preparation, we had received comments from the public with the note that they would be here this evening for the public meeting, which would held immediately before council. And in light of not knowing exactly what was going to be said or proposed, staff prepared the recommendation to direct us to come back with any modifications or feedback and questions so that council could have time to digest the information that was presented at the public meeting this evening, as well as provide staff the opportunity to potentially modify our recommendation based on the feedback that was provided as well. So that's the crux of what this additional report and how it differs to what was presented at the public meeting just a few hours ago.
Okay, thank you. Tim?
I have no other information to add on that.
Okay, all right. Well, we look forward to reading your comments. Any questions, Leanne?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Young. I think it's a good idea to defer it. Lot was said tonight. We always say have a second sober look. And we need time to digest the information. And with the public feedback today, you know, I have a couple questions that I like answered at a different time, but I think it's a good idea to defer this at this time. Thank you.
Justin?
Just one comment, and I know it's not going to be included, but the value in wages and benefits and stuff that potentially come from this expansion, right? Quick math using $25 an hour, you know, we're up in that $690,000 to $700,000 range for 12 people. That's the number of people that they were hire. So when we think about these things, you know, you think about when we talk about active communities and being able to walk to work and live in your community and work in your community, right? Some of that, you know, for council, maybe it doesn't come into this report, should be thought of also, is being able to work and live in Prescott and earn a good wage with a future to retire also. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well said. Leanne?
So just a follow-up on Councillor Kirkby, and these people might be new to the area. They might be buying houses or renting or so we have to, you know, look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Right, look at the bigger picture.
Yeah. Mary?
Would modifications include what Councillor McConnell was talking about perhaps looking at different parcels of land up there where Portolanos was, or would that be included in?
I would think not personally. Lee, I'm not sure that anything could be built on that space. As we saw with the two subdivisions north and, or the two parcels of property north and south of the tracks, there is a setback of 30 meters. And certainly the official building was well inside that 30 meters when it was built, wasn't it? It would be pretty close to the tracks.
I would have to say likely it was. My guess was that the original stone building and probably the next one west and the Prescott finishing was built to be accessed by the railroad back in the 1800s. That time passed with the building of the 401, and quite frankly, when I made the suggestion of building north of the warehouse rather than south of the warehouse, I hadn't considered that. So thank you for pointing that out. But it should be interesting to see exactly where that 90-foot building thing would come, because I still think if we could encourage them to shuffle what they're doing inside and build it north of that warehouse rather than south of the warehouse, we're doing due justice to the people that live there and also to the industry as well. Because really, when you look at our official plan, this doesn't fit into the official plan at all. The official plan indicates that all of those areas south of the tracks were to go residential when we had the opportunity to do so. And we've missed a couple of opportunities with the Hathaway plant and with the Newell plant. As I said, I would like to see this go through, but not until we have some definite ideas. Not, well, we might put the parking lot here, or we might do this here. I don't want to hear mights. This is not going in the North Industrial Park where it really doesn't matter where they put the parking lot in adjacent. It's going into a residential neighborhood. The area that they have bought is residential, it's zoned residential. It was supposed to be developed as residential. So I would like to see this go ahead, but I would like some more definite information on what they are going to do. Because if we don't get it now, it doesn't matter what they build later. This council can be blamed for it, and I don't know who's going to be on council next term, but they're unfortunately going to be taking the strife over it. Thank you.
Okay, well, you planted the seed, so I'm sure that they will listen, and they certainly heard the issues of noise and vibration and setbacks. So, yeah, I'm sure that when they think it through, they'll come back with an appropriate design.
I did see that space on MLS for a long time for sale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I may ask a question, I can't think of the number, but how many years has Northern Cables been in our community in the residential area?
10 to 15?
Yeah. 10 to 15 or more?
I don't know, but I would.
Yeah. Because I know that they've expanded over a period of time, so they've been in that area for.
And they're a good corporate citizen.
Absolutely.
Money at the ACC.
Yeah, and they're trying to work very, very hard with the residents around their business.
For sure.
Yep.
Okay, any other comments, questions? No? Okay. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Or is that just a delay?
No, I'm in favor of the motion going ahead. Thank you.
Good, thank you. All right. 13.1, council schedule amendment. Chloe? The council hereby amends regular council meeting schedule to reschedule the regular council meeting for February 17th, 2026 to February 23rd, 2026. Do you need, I need a mover and a shaker, right? Okay. Tracy, would you move that? Seconder, Mary? Okay, Chloe?
Through you, Mr. Chair, there was a omission between the report and the motion that came forward in late November. The report had indicated that the meeting would be, as it's in your current schedule in Outlook, for the 23rd. However, the motion read the 17th. So this evening is just a reclarification that the meeting is in fact scheduled for the 23rd.
Okay.
And not next Tuesday.
Right. Thank you. Any other questions or? Lee, are you back for that?
No, not
All
unless
right.
it warms up a heck of a lot.
All right, all in favor? It's carried. All right, bylaws, there are none. New business, there's none. Notices of motion. None. Mayor's proclamation.
Yeah.
Well, I can make a proclamation that we want our mayor back in the chair as soon as possible. Okay, are there any questions from media? No? All right.
Darn.
Is there a closed session? No. All right. Great. 21 is the confirming bylaw, motion bylaw number 06-2026, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council meeting held on February 9th, 2026, read and passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, and sealed by the seal of the corporation. This, of course, is required to make sure everything is legal and we don't get thrown in jail. So. Justin, you don't want to go to jail.
No,
Tracy, you don't want to go to jail. Any
Not again.
discussion? None? All in favor? Okay. Carried. Adjournment. Motion that the meeting be adjourned and the time is 8:13.
good night.
Good guess. Okay, mover. Justin, seconder Leanne, all in favor? Carried. And that's it.